Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to all the listeners from around the world that are tuning into this radio broadcast today. I am Tammy Markee, your host of Tammy Markee Radio Show, sponsored by Millionaires in Training. We are based out of Houston, Texas. Listeners, please let me share a little bit about myself. I am a native of New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm a concerned humanitarian, co-author, international human rights activist, evangelist, entrepreneur at Forex trade in a $5.3 trillion daily market. Also, I'm a columnist for Kish magazine called Dynasty of Dreamers and founder of Dynasty Dreamer International. Well, listening audience, Candace Michelle will be co-hosting today's show. She is a kingdom advocate and author. Candace is the visionary steward of Wise Living International, a nonprofit organization and director of Wise Living Group, powered by eXp Realty, LLC. Currently, Candace Michelle lives in Pearland, Texas, where she furthers her kingdom mandate to empower, inspire, educate, and encourage others to move from existing to living. You can follow her on Facebook at Candace Michelle and Instagram at The Real Candace Michelle. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a talented lady on today's show. She's a true example of a dynasty dreamer, and that spirit is going to be an outstanding show. We are on the radio broadcast today with Melanie D. Phillips. Yes, Melanie D. Phillips. I am supremely thrilled that Melanie D. Phillips is our highly distinguished guest today. Phillips is an internationally recognized leader, builder, author, visionary, the CEO of Destiny Discover Publishing, and groundbreaking entrepreneur who has facilitated and empowered countless people to the financial and personal prosperity of them and their community. She is legendary in the field of international writing and a world-changing woman of historical dimensions. She shares core values of empowerment and entrepreneurship to many. She's a woman of faith who has a double major in business administration, business management, and a concentration in human resources. In addition, she holds an MBA. Phillips is also a member of the National Association of Professional Women, a licensed cosmetologist, and she owns Divine Hair Extensions Salon in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Phillips endured two disturbing deaths that will ultimately change her life forever. The death of her childhood sweetheart while in high school and the death of a marriage in 2016. Phillips began writing in 2016 while in the midst of a devastating storm, and God spoke and she listened. It took Phillips to go through the death of a marriage for the scales to fall off her eyes, and to her surprise, God impregnated her with a series of books, The Mouth of Babes, which includes Divorce from My Point of View and The Love of Thy Enemies. Phillips is also one of the co-authors of What is a Courageous Woman?, the MizCEO Entrepreneurial Book II, The Storm is Over, Walking in Purpose, and she is a visionary and co-author of Woman of Disguise. Phillips is the founder of Strengthen the Bond, in which she hosts yearly luncheons and conferences. Strengthen the Bond deals with mothers and daughters whose relationships are strained, broken, and or needs improving. Phillips is an inspirational writer that focuses on families, especially the youth. Children are the future, and in many cases they have no voice. Matthew 18:10, see that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I tell you that the angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven. She is also a native Tennessean and currently resides in Wisconsin, where she is a faithful member of Greater New Birth Church. Learn more about her at www.melaniedphillips.com. Well, today's episode is called Love Thy Enemies. Welcome to the phenomenal world of Melanie D. Phillips. How are you doing today, Melanie?
Hi, Tammy. How are you? I am great, and I am truly blessed to be a part of this show. I look forward to sharing my life and accomplishments with others, and I just want to say I know that if I can do whatever I've gone through, I know that others can do it as well. So I take nothing for granted. So thank you again for having me.
You are so very welcome. We are absolutely thrilled and elated to have you on the radio show today. I commend you for all of the great work you are doing in your community and helping so many of God's people around the world. And you're such an incredibly rich resume, such an impressive roster, I must say. Can you give us a synopsis of your eventful life? Let us have a closer examination of the life of Melanie D. Phillips.
Okay, I sure will. Well, again, I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm a mother of 3, which includes 2 sons and a daughter. I have 4 grandchildren. I don't get a chance to see 3 of them physically as much because 2 of them live in Memphis while I live in Wisconsin, and then the other is in college in Los Angeles. But thank God for FaceTime. I tell you, FaceTime allows me to see them as much as I can. So also, you stated I'm an entrepreneur. I own and operate a salon called Divine Hair and Extensions. And at the salon is basically where I bring my dreams and visions into reality. I do a lot of my planning. I write. I have meetings. I even meet with my business coach and mentor right there at the salon because a lot of times I'm at the salon more than I'm at home. My business serves as a purpose for all my businesses. It houses all my other businesses because, again, I'm there a lot of times of the day, so that's where I would say the magic takes place right there at the salon because I have written many manuscripts right there at the salon. Also, every morning when I get up, I start my day between 4:30 and 6 o'clock. I pray and spend quality time with God, and then I feed myself physically, spiritually, and mentally by listening to motivational speakers. I am a well believer of you are what you think and what you eat, what you put into your body is what comes out. So I listen to speakers like Eric Thomas, Les Brown, Tony Roberts, Lisa Nichols, T.D. Jakes, and then even his daughter, Sarah Jakes Roberts. So, I love listening to motivational speakers and even ministers as well. I command my day. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I say that I can do all things that Christ who strengthens me. And this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. So I just make sure that I stay positive by thinking positive and listening to positive people and reading my word. So whatever I feed myself, that's what I will become. So my day, I have my morning laid out before I go into the salon.
So you set the course for your day by listening to the voice of God, listening to motivational speakers, and working on yourself as well. Yes. And that's key to success. Because we talk about a lot on the radio show about having a positive mindset, watching what you think as well as the words that you speak out of your mouth, because there's life and death in the power of the tongue. And so this is truly remarkable because the show is centered around emancipating the minds of the people. And that reflection speaks volumes. And there's a quote by Jim Rohn that I like. He says, success is something you attract by being an attractive person. And he also said to have more than you got, you have to become more than you are.
Yes.
And see, this is about working on ourselves. You have to take care of self first.
Yes.
And so when you take care of self, everything else, and just trust the process, then know that God is going to line your whole day up.
Yes.
And so this is setting a course for your day.
Right, because if you don't take care of yourself, no one else will.
Yes, absolutely. And the people in the Bible, they got up early to get their day started. And that's what you're doing. You're getting up early, you're getting your day going, and that's truly remarkable. Because someone needs to hear this, because if you set the course of your day by thinking positive, I have a routine about speaking my affirmations on a daily basis. I get up in the morning, I speak over my life, and I do my prayers, I have my devotion time with God, and then I work on everything else after that. Yes. And so, yes, this is truly great what you're sharing with the listening audience, and I must say this is a compelling, ambitious journey to success. It's highly illuminating, and it's fascinating, it's incredibly guidepost to greatness, I must say.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about economics.
Okay.
What do you feel will be the adequate address to the crippling economic issues prevalent among people today?
Because I'm an entrepreneur, I would say being mentally imprisoned, being mentally stuck, and the lack of not educating yourself, and being prideful. Because our brain, Tammy, is one of the most complex organs in the body, and it's protected by the bones of the skull, which produces our every thought. So I always say, if you can think it, you can feel it in your heart. So once you start to feel it in your heart, you will start to believe what you're thinking, and then your actions will show it. Therefore, we need to change our way of thinking first, speak it into existence, and then do the work. And then we can overcome everything else. We can overcome some things like poverty and illiteracy, because we have broken the chains of being mentally in prison. We all have a different way of learning. You know, sometimes we learn visually, because I'm a visual learner at times, verbally, physically, and oral. But if we're too proud to tell people we need help, and we continue to be mentally imprisoned and blame others for our mistakes, and blame others for the things that we should be doing, then we are not free in our mind. So once your mind is free, it will allow you to think creatively. Mm-hmm. Because I always say that the contribution of an entrepreneur is very vital to our economy, and especially in times of a recession. You know, entrepreneurs are needed during these times. Just like when we were going through the government shutdown, you know, there was a lot of entrepreneurs they came up during this time, you know, because when you're mentally free, you get to the place where you're saying, hey, I can step out on faith and I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Mm-hmm. And then your mind becomes creative. You do a lot of creative thinking, and then you start to thinking, hey, when my income, I know my income is getting ready to end abruptly, so how I'm going to have the money coming in? When that money stops, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to eat? And then you start thinking of ways to create services or products, which helps others and yourself tremendously. The creativity allows them to find ways to generate revenue. They start to think out of the box. Then they start to research small businesses, startups. And then they identify with ventures that will or will not work. And then once you do all of that stuff, then you write down your goals and you put a plan into action. Now, that's when you have a free mind. If you're imprisoned, your mind is not free. But once your mind is free, you can, and being an entrepreneur, you learn how to collaborate and network with others, because working with others is oftentimes better than trying to start something new on your own. When you are desperate or eager enough, you will create opportunities for yourself, which could eventually help employ others. The entrepreneurs, we fuel the economic growth. We build wealth. So that's how I think of the economic in that sense.
And that is so profound, what you just shared with us, because we have to go in and unlock those economic powerhouses. Because so many people are going through economic morass. We have to extirpate poverty. And because of this economic inequalities and economic disparities, a lot of people really do not know how to diversify their portfolio. So that's when financial literacy comes into play. Even though we have so much information on the World Wide Web, people are really not getting how to be able to diversify. So we need multiple streams of income.
Yes.
And even God has given us kingdom principles of wealth to tap into. We just have to learn how to tap into it.
Yes.
And believe in the promises that if he said that you're going to have the wealth, he said he has given you the power to get wealth. But we have to take action. And when God tells us to launch out into the deep, to do something that he has called us to do, spiritually speaking, we have to do that.
Yes.
And this message is quite liberating because someone is going to take hold to it.